Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to speak about a subject of, does time have a beginning or an end? This is actually technically a thing that we can't really fully answer in some way, because if you really think about it, well, we go on this principle that basically the universe was created from the Big Bang. But then at the same time, we're also thinking about this fact where, well, if there's this Big Bang and then time kind of started for us at that moment, well, what was there before that? Right? Was it nothingness? Well, then, if there was nothingness, how did the matter for the universe get created? And why did it get created? Was there a reason? And also, if there's, for example, the expansion of the Big Bang, how many times has it happened? Because a lot of theories say that it's this elastic and this space is going further and further and further, and it's expanding basically. And even beyond matter, there is antimatter. So there's always going to be an expansion. There's always going to be a way where, I don't know, maybe where dark matter cannot go further, or it just can't expand more. So what's it going to do? Is it going to contract, or is it just going to stabilize? Well, most likely, I think a lot of people think that it's going to contract and it's going to go back. But then what's going to happen when it goes back? Is time going to go back, or is it most likely just going to start shifting everything and chaos is going to arise, and then it's going to go back into nothingness again? And once it goes back into nothingness, it creates this whole big such a big type of energy that's just blown away, and it creates another Big Bang. And if it's happened, well, once, does it mean that there's been multiples? How many has there been? Has there been billions? Has there been trillions? Has there been so many that we can't even name them anymore? Has each of them been stronger? Has each of them been less? It's just kind of weird when you think about things this way, and this is why you're not really able to count time with a beginning or an end, because then they're also saying things like wormholes, where you'd be able to, kind of like folding a piece of paper, where you'd be able to basically go from one point of space into another point of space, just because you kind of like just created a rip in the paper, folded it, and now you're getting there before the light has hit it, so you're technically going back in time. And then also the people who, with Einstein's theory of relativity and all that, where basically the faster you go, the slower time is passing by outside of your spaceship, or of your travel, whatever ship that you have. So you'd be still going at the same time, but then the time outside of it would be going relative to that. And then also the whole mystery, in some way, it's not really a mystery, but the fact that the stars that we see, well, they're millions of light years away, and they're definitely light years away. And each light year that they count from a star or a planet that we're seeing is basically the amount of time that it would take for us to travel there if we were going at the speed of light, which means that what you're seeing now is basically what happened 7 years ago or 6 years ago, depending on how far away it is. And it's kind of crazy, because then in some way the light that's emitting from this Earth is being sent all over the universe too, and they're seeing our Earth how it was before, and the lights of even people who are dead and all that stuff is still being emitted. And it's just kind of weird to think that everything is kind of that way in the world. So where is the beginning? Where is the end? Nobody's really able to say that, and I know that calculations and all that would probably actually be able to say something about those things. They always do. But at the same time, I think, honestly, in some way, we weren't even meant to know that stuff. We're not really meant to really understand these things. I think again the organized chaos created the fact that we are able to at least know who we are, invent things. Evolution has done that to us, and the fact that we're able to even be here, and for me to even be doing videos and stuff, it's kind of luck. So it's just nice to ponder about these things and thinking about if there's an end, a future, present, or if we're in a constant, or if time doesn't even really exist and it's just something that we measure. Although calculations again show that time does exist, but I think we kind of tend to calculate it and understand it according to the fact that we become older and older with time. So if we think about it as someone who's getting older and older with time, well, then you're thinking, okay, time means aging. But what if time, just don't think about your age or whatever it is. What if time was just change? What if time was just this linear thing? And that's basically what time is, and that's why it's able to be calculated. It's just that we so happen to be aging because our chromosomes and all that stuff gets shorter, and we have an amount of time because that was the determined amount of time that we needed in order to procreate and continue the lineage. And the fact that we have complicated brains and stuff, and evolution has created this thing where we have empathy and all these things, but it's all again created from the fact that basically the people who had these traits were the ones that survived, so the bodies just evolved in that way. But yeah, does time have an end, a beginning? I don't know if we'll ever know, but at the same time, it just depends again on what perspective we're looking at it from. That's why it's me philosophizing about things, but it's good to think about them. That's all it is. So that's all I have to say on the subject. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.